Hello everyone and welcome to Flosstube number 33. Hello everyone, my name is Lizzie. Welcome to another Flosstube video. This is Flosstube number 33, which is kind of crazy. So I have some things to show you today. One very big finish, two smaller finishes that I'm still excited about. And then I couldn't stay off eBay again, and so I bought a few vintage kits, which is really exciting. And I found some stitching stuff at the antique store, which I will show you at the end as well. So let's go ahead and jump on in. The first thing I have is my smallest finish, which is a cute little Halloween finish. This is Halloween Friends by World on a String by Dara. I stitched this 1/2 on 32 count shale, and I did change the oranges, which I'll tell you what they are in a minute. I just think he's so cute. It's very small. I don't know. I mean, you don't really know how big my hand is, but in comparison to a hand, that's how big it is. I did change the oranges to Weeks Dye Works Ember for the brighter orange, and then for the more pastel orange is Classic Colorworks Pumpkin Harvest. So I did do those two and that little pumpkin, as you can see there. Yeah, I finished that one. I need to fully finish it. I would love to get 2 more Halloween smalls done. I do need to work on them though, because I haven't really been working on my Halloween smalls. I haven't followed my plan very well. But I would love to get 2 more done, and so I'm probably gonna wait to fully finish those all at the same time. All right, the next finish, I'm not sure if you're ready for. It was kind of a surprise to me. I picked this up and was like, all right, well, I'm gonna finish the stitching on it, and just shot my clip across the room. I picked it up and was like, I'm gonna finish the stitching on it, and then I will, do the beading later. And then I was like, well, I could just do the beading. And I did all the beading in a day and a half. And this is my very first Mirabilia, and she is complete. So this is Mirabilia Alice, and here she is in all her beautiful glory. She's done. So I'm going to show her to you from far away, and then I'll give you a close-up of everything, and especially to show you the beads. So last time I showed you this, I had started working on the top of her dress. This curtain was not finished. I had half of this done, so I finished that half. I did her face, I did all her back stitching, I finished that curtain, and then I went in with the beads. So let me give you a close-up. So those right there are beads. There's purple beads. You can clearly see that row of beads right there on the curtains. And then I did her back stitching. This mirror does not have a 1/1 or a petite stitch in her face. It's just a regular cross stitch. The rest of her is 2/2, and so is her face. So some mirror faces are 1/1. There's stitched a mirror before. There's beads in her sleeves right here. There's beads all along there. There's so many white beads. I'm going to turn it this way so you can kind of see the beads a little bit better. There's beads there and there. I back stitched the clock. My French knots are not perfect. Oops, sorry, did I hit you? I'm sorry. My French knots are not perfect, but I don't hate them. There's black beads here. There's some, is there beads there? No, no beads at the bottom of her dress. That's just stitching. There's black beads in there. She is complete. I stitched her on 32 count lilac lugana, and I'm in love with her. I do have a frame for her, which I will show you when I frame her. I got it from Hobby Lobby. So it's a standard size frame, which is really nice. But I need to figure out how to frame with beads. So I know you can use the spacer bars, and I actually already have some of those because one of you recommended them to me just for regular stitching to kind of create some space between your stitches and the glass. So I just need to have a time where I'm like ready. I can sit down and focus for a few hours and really work on her. And maybe it won't take a few hours, but I want to have that a lot of time just in case I need it. So there she is. She is done. I'm so excited. And I do have plans to start my next Mirabilia, which I'll talk to you about at the end. I did want to talk to you about the frame real quick because I did do a different color. It is a dark green, which is called for in the pattern, but not for the border. It's called for in the green of her dress. And I did do that on the border because that was the first color I stitched with. And there's like 2 triangles. One is right facing, one is left facing. And I chose the wrong one. And so I just left it because I actually really like it. I feel like it frames the piece more than just kind of like blends in with this curtain. So I really like that. And I will say, I was watching, while I was beading on her and working on her, I was watching a video from Cross by Floss, Lisa. And she was talking about how Alice, she was talking about French knots. It was like all about Mirabilia or something like that. And she was talking about French knots. And she was like, yeah, you know, I've heard the debate, like, is this whole border on Alice supposed to be French knots? And I was like, there's no way. I was like, I didn't notice that. And then I went and looked on my pattern. I was like, oh my gosh, it was all supposed to be French knots. Now, I think a lot of people have done it stitching. I know a lot of people have left like the background off and just done her. But I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot imagine doing that many French knots. If I had done that before, I still would not have done French knots. But that is crazy. Me and French knots are like, we're acquaintances. We're not friends. And maybe if I'd have done that many French knots, I'd probably be a pro then. So maybe I should have done that many French knots. But I think she's very pretty. I did just want to mention that color change real quick. All right, next finish is Let Us Adore Him by Sweet Wings Studio. And here is my finish on that. So last time I showed it to you, I didn't even have the church finished. And I was really itching for another finish after that Mirabilia finish. And so I picked this up last weekend, and I think I worked on it 4 or 5 days and I got it finished. So it says, oh, come let us adore him. And I did do a bit of a color conversion. So I'm gonna show you the original. So I did change quite a few colors, which I'm gonna show you that in a minute. The biggest change I made was this green right here. You can see it kind of looks like a white gray. And I did a light green, but this and this are supposed to be the same color. So instead of doing this in light green, because I just thought that'd be too much light green, I didn't like that very much. And it's ghosting on camera. It's not ghosting at all in person, but it's ghosting a little bit on camera. But I took that light tan color from the sides of the church and put that up there. So here is my color conversion. I'm gonna hold it up for you. I'm gonna put it on the board, but I will hold it up for you for a second in case you want to screenshot that. My lighting is being super weird. I'm filming this in the afternoon and the sun keeps coming out from the clouds and going back. So there is that. I stitch it on 16 count. We have the stickers right there. 16 count Woodland, and I stitch it 2/1. There is the color changes I made. I'm thinking I want to do this in a pillow. Is it too big of a pillow? I think it'd be a nice chunky pillow, but I don't have any Christmas pillows. I feel like all my Christmas smalls I turn into ornaments, and so I really want to work on some Christmas pillows. So I'm thinking that would be a perfect pillow. There is that one. All right, that is all my finishes. I have done more finishes, but let's get into some WIPs. This one is God Shed His Grace on Me. Memorial Day by Hands On Designs, and that's what it looks like. It is charted using sulky 12 weights. I did buy the sulky 12 weights and I am using those. And I'm stitching this, here it is, on 36 count antique white. And like I said, I'm using all the called for sulky 12 weight. Let me put it over here so it doesn't fold over. You can see my piece of fabric is definitely really big. This was just the whole cut. I haven't cut it down. So I'll probably come in and cut it about where that hoop line is. And this is serge. The serge is coming off. But basically I finished all the words and I finished this out and that down. And then I started on that grass down there. Before I put it up, I got a little bit of color in on it. So I'm doing it 1/2 because if you haven't worked sulky 12 weights before, people say it's like a 1.5. Like 1.5 DMC threads. I'll show you up close real quick. I think that that's probably accurate. I think it leans closer to 2 though. Well, that is not sure. I picked the best color to show that, didn't I? Let's see it there. Yeah, I think it leans a little bit thicker than 1.5 personally. And I just found this out, okay? Ready? Watch this. And you grab, there's like a little lip under there. So you pull up under that lip and it expands, right? And so then you can, so then you like wrap your floss around that and it's easier not filming it. Wrap your floss around that and you push it down and then it holds it in place. Holds it in place. Did not know that. saw, I don't know who I saw share that. I saw somebody share that. I was like, oh, no way. And then I went and pulled this project out. If I'm going to be 100% honest with you, that's why I pulled this project out. Because I was like, let me go see. Is that real? Like, is that true? And I saw it was, and I was really excited. So pulled out this project. But yeah, I made some good progress on this. I'm excited now that I kind of got the base done. I can work on the fun stuff. So I can get on the flag, and I can get in this. I believe there's a specialty stitch in this as well. I know there is. I just don't remember what it is. In the flowers. So I'll probably work the grass across, and then I might come up and work on these flags, because I think if I just work on the flags, like, and save flags for end, I might get a little fatigued with them. So that is my plan for that. And I was excited to have pulled it out and kind of get the border and the frame of it done. I do need to cut down that fabric. So that's a perfect fabric for some smalls. Next WIP is the Primitive Hare Spooky Countdown. This was my 1 strand a day project for August. And here is my progress. So I'm almost done. All the boxes are at least outlined. This one, I didn't like what was originally charted. It was, just didn't like it. So I'm probably gonna put a cute little skeleton there. I prefer cute Halloween over spooky. And so basically what I did is I did a little bit more here. I need to finish that out. This is done, except there's a candy corn here. This is done, except I need to do the smoke out of the chimney and fill in the windows. This has a pumpkin, so I need to do the pumpkin. This has a little scarecrow. This one needs that tiny bit of 310 filled in. I did put a couple extra strands on it versus what I needed to. But then I got tired of working on it. So that's why those are not finished yet. So I'll probably I'm 100% going to come back to it before the end of the year. I want all the boxes done by the end of the year. So I need to chart a skeleton, put a skeleton. I need to do that box. And then I need to finish these. I don't know. I do want to do a 1 strand a day project for September. Will I continue this one? I haven't fully decided yet. I don't know. And I'm doing my 1 strand a day project versus pulling out every day and putting 1 strand in. I'm like writing down how many strands I need for the month, and then I'll work on it. So the first half of the month I put like 14 or 15 strands, and then the second half I did 18. Now the math is not mathing there, but I know I did 18, and then I did the first half all at once. So yeah, there is that. It is getting there. I want to finish all the boxes this year, and so next year I can focus on the top and bottom and get that to a finish, because I'm ready to have it done. I don't have any big Halloween pieces to put up. I don't have any big Christmas ones either, but I want some like substantial seasonal WIPs. And so I'm really pushing to kind of work on those more and get them to a good point where they can be finished soon. I forgot to mention, but I'm stitching that on 32 count lambswool that I coffee tea dyed, and I'm stitching it 2/2. So if I ever forget to mention anything like that, I always do put all the details about anything I show or stitch in the description below, because I know sometimes I do forget and you might be curious. I know that happens to me on other people's videos, so I always try to put it in the description in case you want to know. Okay, my last WIP, and then we'll get into haul, is Soaring Santa by Stitchrovia. I did get this from a magazine, but you can buy it from Stitchrovia's Etsy shop. It is under a different name though. And here is where I am at. So I'm stitching this on a 28 count white DMC fabric. I did soften it. And let me give you a closer. I can't see what I'm showing you. There we go. Let me give you a closer look. I just started working on this again last night. I was done working on the spooky countdown. I didn't know what I wanted to pick up, and I actually asked my son, I was like, which one do you like? Which one do you think I should work on? And he picked this one. So I am gonna work on this one probably all weekend, and then I will move on to another one. This has like this much left maybe, and I'm gonna be at the side. So I'm gonna have some extra fabric here. And I would love to like get the full width of it before I put it down. Even if I don't fill in the whole thing, I would love to get the full width so I know what it is. And then, yeah. I don't have any huge goals on this, but I do enjoy making progress on it. It just is a little tedious with like color changes and things. So there is that one. Lastly, I have some haul. So I went to the antique store and found a couple things, and then I ordered a couple things offline. So the first thing I ordered was this Bucilla Kilted cross stitch kit, and there's a little bit of a story with this one. I've been wanting this one for probably 2 months. I saw somebody on Instagram not even post a whole picture of them stitching it, but it was like they were taking a picture of like scissors or floss or something, and in the corner you could see this like stitched. I was like, that is beautiful. I need it. Well, I couldn't, it was a Russian Flosstuber, and I couldn't, or Russian cross stitch Instagrammer, and I couldn't read it, and the Instagram translate was not working. And so I took a picture and I cropped it and I put it in the Google image search, and I found out what it was. And so I bought this. Now this goes for around $20 to $30, so not too expensive. But I found one and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy this one. And it was like $27, okay? And I sent an offer to the person and they accepted it. But for some reason, and I have no idea why, my card didn't work. It was like, your card, the authorization was weird. And I was like, so they were like, it didn't go through. I was like, okay, let me remove my card and add it again. Like, let me see let me see if maybe that's what it is. So I did that. And then it was like, there's a processing error adding your card. And I was like, what? Like, it wasn't even going through to process the payment. And it did that twice. And I was like, let me wait a little while and try again. It seems like there's an issue with the system. And I had another one of these favorited, the one I bought, this one, from somebody else. And they sent an offer for this for $6 plus shipping. And so basically, I was about to buy this for $27. And another seller sent an offer for $6 plus, I think it was like $6.99 shipping. And I went and accepted that, and my card went through and processed and authorized perfectly. So it was meant to be. This was the exact kit I was supposed to get. It's unopened. There's a lot of floss there. I don't know if you can see, but I can feel how thick that is. You can kind of see it as well. So I will sub out the Ada probably. I just see it on a 32 count linen in my head, and I prefer to stitch on a 32 count linen, and I'm very excited for this WIP. So I will switch out that Ada for sure, which is kind of going to be the theme for all these kits I bought. All right, the next online purchase was this one. This is Dimensions Gold Petite Enchanted Cottage. It is yellowed a little bit. You can see there that plastic is yellowed a little bit. Now I will tell you, I'm dying, like absolutely dying to start this one. I have not opened it. It is sealed. Still has the little stickers on the sides. I'm gonna open it because I'm 100% gonna stitch it. I honestly really wanted to start it last night, and I was like, no, it'll be good and pull out a WIP. So pretty. Again, it's the Dimensions Gold Petite. This one I got for about $22. I feel like most of the time it's around 20 plus shipping, whereas this one was 15 plus shipping, so it was about 22 with shipping. For kits that aren't super rare, like there's probably 7 or 8 of them on eBay right now. I do price watch them, and a lot of times too on eBay, if you haven't shopped on there before, because I feel like I'm a newer eBay user. I've been doing it for a couple months now, where I kind of watch the first month, and then this month I've been buying. Maybe I watched for the first month and a half, and I finally started buying. But if there's a kit you see pop up kind of often, and it's not like super rare and you need to jump on it as soon as it's for sale, price watch a little bit, because both of these I could have gotten a few months, weeks earlier, but price watching, I did get them a little bit cheaper. Now this one I saved about $15. This one I saved about 7 or 8, which is not a lot, but when you are buying a lot of kits, it does kind of add up. Like I said, it is sealed, so everything is in there. I probably will stitch this one on the Ada. I think there is, yeah, you can see that gold around it. I'm pretty sure that is a ribbon or something. I don't know. I want to get into it and look in it, and don't be surprised if this is started. Okay, just gonna say that. Next thing I found was at the antique store, and I get so excited when I find a cross stitch kit at the antique store, anything cross stitch related. Speaking of which, hold on, I will be right back. I have one more thing I want to show you that I got at the antique store. Okay, I grabbed it. But this is a Janlin kit. I've never had a Janlin kit before, so I'm so excited for that. This is the Joy of Spring And there is the number code right there. You can see it was for sale at Hobby Lobby for $35. I did not pay that, although when I got to the front of the antique store, the guy like took all the tags off of everything, because you can see where the tag was attached right there. They remove all the tags and keep them. And he had taken all the tags off, and he didn't realize he had taken the tag off this. He was like, oh, this one's $35. It was marked at $12, and he'd already handed her for the tag for it, but he didn't realize it because I had a few other items. And I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to say something. I'm not a confrontational person. How am I gonna say something? What am I gonna say? And then the lady ringing it up, she was like, that's a Hobby Lobby price tag. That's not what it is. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, it's fine. I'm just glad she got it, so I didn't have to say anything. But it's absolutely beautiful. Another one, I will 100% sub out the fabric. I could just tell through the packaging it's a very crunchy Aida, which I might try to soften it, or I might sub it out for maybe like a 28 count Jobelin or something, but it's so pretty. I don't have any plans to start it anytime soon, but I was so excited to get this, especially for $12. It's such a wonderful price. Even looked it up on eBay in the store, and it's definitely a good price. You're gonna pay at least 15 to 20 some dollars more if you're gonna buy it on eBay for what I was seeing in the store, but it does come pre-sorted, which I appreciate. I'm kind of nervous about the sorting this dimensions kits. But yeah, so that is what I added to my kit stash. And then I bought a couple other crafty things. So I bought these Singer pinking shears. You can see it is like a little pinked edge. And these are really heavy duty, really nice. The same booth had what I'm about to show you, but they also had a scissor sharpener. It was like a forever scissor sharpener, and it was vintage, and it was really cool. I assume it probably all came from the same place wherever the vendor buys their stuff. It seemed like it all had come from the same place, because they had a lot of quilting patterns, like tons of quilting patterns, and a little bit of fabric, not much, but a little bit of fabric, and then some like random crafty stuff like these. And I really wish I'd have bought the forever scissor sharpener. It was only $6, so if they have it next time, I will buy that. These were $7 though, and I've been wanting a pair of these. I've been looking at them on Amazon, and I'm sure these are probably a lot higher quality than what I would get like a generic brand on there. And then the last thing I bought was some Krynic, which I'm really excited about. So these are all 16. Are they all? Okay, these two are 16, and this one is 32. So this is medium and this is heavy. So it is a little bit thick. It was in a plastic bag, like they were all three in a bag together, so I couldn't fully tell what the sizes were because the plastic bag was like a cloudy plastic. But I figured they would be wonderful to have. I'll definitely use them for something. The colors are, the 32 is 032, the red is 003 HL, which I think means high luster. I've never had a Krynic before. And then we have a number 16 braid 001. And I paid $3 for these. All three of them, I paid $3. And I was excited in the craft store, and I went to my husband and I was like, do you know how much you'd pay for one of these in the manufacturing and da-da-da-da? And he was like, that's great. I was like, you're just not bringing the type of hype I need for this. I was so excited to find this. Anyway, I have some Krynic now, which is really exciting. Actually, I'm planning to place an order for some Krynic because I'm going to need it for a couple patterns that I want to stitch. And what's holding me back from starting them is the Krynic. So I need to actually order some. But yeah, that is my haul and my stitchy updates. Next weekend, I'm going to decorate for fall, which I'm really excited about. Make first loaf of pumpkin bread, have a pumpkin spice latte. Okay, if you've made it this far, I always tell you to comment something down below. Let me know if you like pumpkin spice lattes or not. And if you don't, that's totally fine. I understand why people hate them. I do. I fully get it because it does kind of taste slightly like a candle, but I kind of love it too. And it's a lot more candly from a coffee shop versus if you make it at home. It's a lot more pumpkin-y at home, like pumpkin cinnamon-y at home. But if you don't, what is your like go-to fall flavor? Like, do you love pumpkin bread? Do you love a chai latte? Do you love like an apple? Like, I know a lot of apple things are in the fall. What is your like go-to fall? If think of like a food or a drink, what is your go-to fall food or drink? All right, I will see you actually very soon. I will see you because I ordered a mystery cross stitch box from Red Stitchery here on Flosstube. She was destashing a couple things. She had 4 mystery boxes and I bought one, and yeah, that should be here next week. And so I'm going to do an unboxing of that because I'm so excited to see what's in it. I think she said there's going to be at least 2 kits, 10 plus patterns, a magazine or 2, and then extras such as like chronic, hoops, floss, beads. So that's going to be really exciting. That is going to be a video coming out really soon. I've been tracking it every single day, like twice a day, just to see what it's going to be here because I'm so excited. So as soon as that comes in, I'm going to film an unboxing for you guys. And I do have a free pattern video coming out. I'm going to do a Halloween free pattern video as well as an autumn free pattern video. So those will be coming to you soon as well. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and get a ton of stitchy time. Bye guys.